Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video we will be looking at AQA AS Psychology 2023 paper 2 example answers for research methods, which you need to know for AQA A-level psychology. I hope you enjoy this video and find it helpful. Let's get started. Please note that these answers have been produced with knowledge of the mark scheme but have not been approved by the mark scheme themselves. There are 3 assessment objectives, AOs, in psychology. In this video they are color-coded. AO1 Knowledge, purple. AO2 Application, blue. AO3 Evaluation, red and green. In AS there are 12 mark questions, instead of 16 mark questions. For the purpose of this video and to avoid confusion for A-level, the 12 mark questions have been turned into 16 mark questions. A psychologist investigated whether productivity levels are affected by the amount of sleep a person gets. They asked 30 participants to sleep for 4 hours on the first night and then stay awake all of the next day, day 1. The same participants were then asked to sleep for 8 hours on the second night and stay awake all of the next day, day 2. Each participant was then asked to rate their productivity at the end of day 2 as more than or less than or the same as day 1. Question 1. Outline what is meant by an aim. Write a suitable aim for this study. 2 marks. An aim is a general statement made by the researcher which states what they plan on investigating, what they plan to achieve and the purpose of their study to investigate whether sleep affects productivity. The results of the study are given in Table 1 below. Table 1 Number of participants giving each productivity rating at the end of day 2. Question 2. The psychologist analyzed the results of the study using the sign test. Explain 2 reasons why it was appropriate to use the sign test in this situation. Refer to the description of the study in your answer. 4 marks. It was appropriate to use the sign test in this situation because there are 2 sleep conditions and the psychologist is looking for a difference in productivity between them. The difference between the 2 sleep conditions is significant and not down to chance. The level of measurement is nominal as the participants categorize their productivity as more, less, or the same. Question 3. Use the data in Table 1 to calculate the value of S using the sign test. Explain how you calculated this figure, 3 marks. S equals 6. Any nil differences, e.g. participants with the same productivity, are ignored and the value of the category with the least number of cases is S. Compare the number of participants who were more and less productive. As a result of the sign test calculation, the psychologist concluded that participants assessed themselves as more productive after 8 hours sleep than after 4 hours sleep. Other previous research has also shown that having more sleep has a positive effect on problem-solving skills. In a follow-up study, the psychologist designed an experiment to investigate further the effect of sleep duration on problem-solving. They randomly selected 20 students from a local university. There were 2 conditions. Condition 1. The students were invited to a university sleep laboratory and were allowed to sleep for 6 hours. 15 minutes after waking, each student was timed to see how long it took them to solve 10 simple mathematical problems correctly. Condition 2. The same 20 students were invited back to the sleep laboratory a week later. This time they were allowed to sleep for 2 hours. 15 minutes after waking, each student was again timed to see how long it took them to solve a different set of 10 simple mathematical problems correctly. Question 4. Briefly explain how the psychologist would carry out a pilot study in this case. 2 marks. A small number of students would have been selected to take part in the pilot before the follow-up study. The researchers would have created some simple mathematical problems and prepared and written some instructions to follow. The small sample would have been tested under 2 conditions within the sleep laboratory. Question 5. Should the hypothesis for the follow-up study be directional or non-directional? Explain your answer. 2 marks. The hypothesis for the follow-up study should be directional, as there is previous research that has shown that more sleep leads to better problem-solving, and the original study showed that more sleep leads to better productivity, and therefore a prediction can be made in the same direction as the results. Question 6. Write a suitable experimental hypothesis for the follow-up study. 3 marks. The time it takes to solve 10 simple mathematical problems correctly will be significantly shorter when people have had 6 hours sleep compared to when people have had 2 hours sleep. Question 7. Identify one extraneous variable that could have affected the results of the follow-up study. Suggest why it would have been important to control this extraneous variable and how the psychologist could have controlled it. 3 marks. One extraneous variable that could have affected the results of the follow-up study is the difficulty of the mathematical problems. If the mathematical problems in one condition were easier than those in the other condition, then participants would record a quicker time due to the relative difficulty of the mathematical problems and not the amount of sleep they got. The researcher would need to standardize the 20 mathematical problems to ensure they are of similar difficulty and then allocate 10 to each condition. Question 8. Explain how the psychologist could have used random sampling to select the students in the follow-up study. 3 marks. The psychologist would get a complete list of all the students who attended the university. They would add each name to a piece of paper and allocate each name a number. They would add the names to a large container and draw out 20 pieces of paper and use a computer randomized program to select 20 numbers. Their participants would be the 20 names on the pieces of paper drawn out, and they would convert the 20 numbers back to names, and these would be the participants. Question 9. Briefly explain one problem with using random sampling in the follow-up study. 2 marks. One problem with using random sampling in the follow-up study is that a random sample does not guarantee a representative sample of the student population, as some students may be from similar courses, of the same gender, and the follow-up study only has 20 participants. On top of this, the full list of university students may not be able to be accessed, and there is likely to be some university students who will not want to take part in the research. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. Bye.